Trump announces major combat operations as U.S. joins Israeli strikes on Iran. Netanyahu says strikes target existential threat as U.S. joins Israel in major operation against Iran. Iran's President Pezeshkian, safe and sound, state media. U.S. Israel strikes Iran, defense minister declares state of emergency. U.S. President Donald Trump says the United States has begun major combat operations in Iran hours after Israel launched missile strikes. Trump said the joint U.S.-Israeli action is aimed at eliminating threats from the Iranian government and protecting American citizens. Explosions were reported in Tehran and other areas, while Iranian hospitals were placed on emergency alert. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian was reported safe. Israel activated air raid sirens across parts of the country as a precaution against possible Iranian retaliation. Iranian officials warned of serious consequences, saying the conflict could escalate beyond control. At the same time, Israel carried out additional airstrikes in Lebanon, targeting sites it says are linked to Hezbollah, raising fears that the conflict could expand. Iranian media also reported cyber attacks on news agencies, adding to the uncertainty. The situation remains highly volatile, with growing fears of a wider Middle East war. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says ongoing strikes on Iran are aimed at removing what he called an existential threat to Israel. The United States has confirmed it is taking part in the military campaign after President Donald Trump announced, quote, major combat operations against Iranian targets. Explosions have been reported in Tehran and several other Iranian cities, with strikes hitting areas believed to include military and government facilities. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian was reported safe. Netanyahu praised Trump's role in the operation and said the action could change Iran's future, suggesting it might allow Iranians to determine their own political path. Iran responded by launching missiles toward Israel, triggering nationwide air raid sirens. Israeli air defense systems intercepted many of the incoming missiles, and no immediate casualties were reported. Israel has declared a state of emergency and urged residents to stay near shelters as further attacks are expected. Internet monitoring groups reported disruptions to internet access across parts of Iran, adding to uncertainty on the ground. Analysts say it is too early to judge the impact of the strikes, but tensions are rising rapidly, increasing fears of a wider regional war in the Middle East. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian is reported to be safe and unharmed following military strikes on Iran, according to Iranian state media. The reports came after Israel launched attacks on Iranian targets, with explosions reported in the capital Tehran. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz declared a state of emergency as sirens sounded across Israel in preparation for possible Iranian missile retaliation. Iranian state television confirmed the explosion in Tehran, but provided few details about the damage or targets. The escalation comes amid rising tensions over Iran's nuclear program and ongoing disputes with the United States. The situation remains uncertain and highly tense, with fears growing of further military escalation in the region. Israel launched a military strike on Iran on Saturday, with Defense Minister Israel Katz declaring a state of emergency across the country, reports AP, AFP, Reuters. The announcement came as thick smoke rose from an explosion in downtown Tehran, Iran's capital. Iranian state television acknowledged the blast but offered no additional details. Simultaneously, sirens sounded across Israel. The Israeli military said the alert was, quote, proactive, to prepare the public for the possibility of missiles being launched toward the state of Israel. It was not immediately clear if the explosion in Tehran and the Israeli sirens were directly connected. Witnesses in Tehran reported hearing the explosion in the city, which comes amid heightened tensions over Iran's nuclear program and ongoing friction between Iran and the United States. Authorities in both countries have yet to release further details, and the situation remains fluid. This is a developing story.